I've been very engaged with friends particularly, and you'll see why, because I'll say it. But when it came to work at that time, it was the priority, and I really did push everything else aside. It doesn't mean I shortchanged my friends. I didn't want to do that. But I couldn't go out and do as much as I probably wanted. And interests. Coming into mid-career, I'd say mid-career is around the time now you settle down, you got married, things begin to happen, so the wife comes in, maybe an odd kid comes along. So, thoda sa shift aaya. Again, for you it might be different. So you have to do your own assessment and analysis. Late career, i.e. now you're at the director level or the CEO level and so on and so forth. Work went down for me to 6. I mean, it was still way up there, but now I had more people. I kind of tried to say, I must learn how to delegate. I must also learn to create more space and time for myself. And how was I using that time? I was using that time a little bit more for friends and families, and I also started to step up my interests, to do something more that I enjoyed other than work. And in my current phase of life, I have 2 for work. Maybe 2 is even an exaggerated number. It might be 1, but it's between 1 and 2 somewhere. Friends and family get a little bit more of my attention and so on. And my interests are getting packed because I realize life ends. So you've got a few years to enjoy it, and I'm trying to do that. So I've packed more action into my retirement part of my life. Okay. Let's take this for. Yes.
In early career, it was a planned or a conscious move to have more.
I'm just telling you, as I reflect now, how did I conduct my life?
Okay.
No Saturdays, honestly, no Saturdays, no Sunday. My mother calling me up, Eid hai, where are you? And I'm in some part. I said, hey, I can't come there, I've got work to do. That sort of a thing. It really was a focus or a priority. So my life. So to understand a little bit the priorities I set for myself, my thought processes, I need to lead you a little bit more into my life because, listen, none of us are the same. We all come from different backgrounds and different circumstances. Our views and what we assign priority, our circumstances will vary. So there is not one solution. Okay? Clearly there's not one solution. But if you think about it, then you can analyze and see what works for you. That's why I wanted to give you my little background so that you can see how did he do all of these things the way he did, because I have a few more slides on the subject. Start with my parents. Both of them are gone, so time to reflect, and I did. This presentation gave me the opportunity to think about it. And I remember how education was such a priority in our family. I mean, my father and mother both really. There was no way you could get away from a school or a class. Doesn't matter if there's a family wedding or something else happening or it's raining outside. You had to go to school. You had to do this. It was really a focus. So my brother had 2 sisters. All of them got the same focus. Best they could afford, they tried to give that sort of education to all of us. But it was a priority. Inculcated a sense of responsibility. So your exam, the results, things that you were asked to do, if you didn't do it well, there was unhappiness. There was that kind of an element. So we weren't like spoiled children. I see some younger generation kids, they're really, maybe it's a new style. I'm from the old school. Look at this. I went to 11 schools in 16 years, of which 4 were boarding schools. And I went to school in all the provinces of Pakistan, all the way from Quetta, Peshawar, Pindi, Karachi, you name it, and interior boarding schools. Hassan Abdal, Pitaro, Aptabad, done it all. So what did all of this do? I mean, it was, as a kid, I remember, it used to stress us, because every year you're changing schools almost. Naya curriculum, naya teachers, naya dost, then you've got to learn to adapt. Kuch na kuch to karna hai na. How do you, as kids, you want to be accepted. So I think some of this sort of a rigor in that upbringing of schooling, etc., brought about this thing, you learn to adapt. And because boarding school, you get kicked around. You know, you have to look after yourself. वो seniors जो हैं वो रगड़ा भी अच्छा लगा देते हैं. So you will need to stand up for yourself. These things you learn. If you just grow up at home, parents tend to protect you. तो वो एक और किस्म की personality shape होती है उसमें से. So basically, I would say from this, I would say to understand and befriend. If I really didn't like somebody, at least I knew how to coexist with that person. You know, and people of different backgrounds. So I was blessed. I have friends from the interior of Sindh. I have friends from Balochistan. I have many Pathan friends. I have friends from Punjab. And my wife is from Karachi, so you know lots of. So all the comms जो कहते हैं ना, lived with them, played with them, interacted with them, understand. I think I understand and I enjoy them. So in my career, maybe that helped me have no biases to some extent. Maybe we all have some biases, but. Then I want to say a little bit about my marriage. Because in life, you make 2 or 3, in my opinion, very important decisions. One is where you work, secondly, who you marry. And it's a choice, it's a decision, unless your parents enforce it. In my case, they didn't enforce it. I had a choice. So these are important decisions. So let me just say.
So which one is third?
No, I said marriage and where you work. Couple of things. I said those are important decisions. In my case, I say hugely supportive wife. And I'll explain what I mean by that. Totally runs the house. I really don't know what happened when the bijli is off. She knows what to do. I don't. That kind of a person. Children's upbringing, totally delegated to her. Took interest in my career. How? Every time there'd be an opportunity, she'd ask me, what did you do today? What happened? If I had something I was really struggling with, I'd share it with her. So even though she's not a business professional, she never worked in a corporation, but she always had counsel or advice. So I used her as a sounding board very often. What it did for me really was it allowed me to focus on my job. That's what it did. You see all those high marks I gave to work, if she was a different kind of a wife, then I may needed to have to do something else. But she knew how to run things. She hired, fired servants. She got the children admitted to school. She made sure they went there on time, came back on time, their food, their hospital, everything. Totally delegated. And so that's how it worked.
नहीं थोड़ा बहुत चैलेंज तो रहता है.
नहीं चैलेंज तो हाँ वो भी है. ये नहीं है कि बिल्कुल ही वन साइडेड थिंग है. नहीं झगड़े भी होते हैं, सब कुछ है. वो अपनी जगह पे that's part of life, you know. But by and large, honestly, I've faithfully put this together. That I think I've been very blessed with a partner like that, and it did impact my career. I'm very clear about that. Because if she had not done this sort of a support for me, it may have been. You won't believe it if I say or may say that she actually looked up to me or made me feel that she looked up to me. And that's the second point, is it upped my confidence. Because, you know, as when I was growing up, my parents, my father particularly, he would be quite tough and he'd compare and sometimes talk you down. You know, ये क्या बेवकूफों वाला कर रहे हो, ये क्या है, this is not right.